Get ready with me while I tell y'all why patience is key, like for real. So I just graduated high school in May, 2023, of course. And I started dating my boyfriend in March. And my boyfriend, when I started dating him, we were best friends before, so I already knew like almost everything about him. But one thing about my boyfriend, he has a reputation with females. And because of that reputation, I got a little female hate group now. Like there was a good amount of females that didn't like me in the school because he's kind of popular. I'm gonna just say popular. I would get death stares from like a bunch of females, and I really didn't care. I was minding my business. But there was this one girl who was like really getting on my nerves. Like she was just bugging the crap out of me. So just like every other girl, she was giving me death stares, and I really didn't care. But she started dragging it on. First, it was just death stares in the cafeteria. But after lunch, we would go like in the same hallway to go to fifth period, and she started accidentally bumping me in the hallways. Like, so she would constantly give me death stares, and then she started accidentally bumping me in the hallways, and I was getting a little upset, but I was trying to keep my cool because, you know, like I was running for prom queen, so I couldn't really do anything. So yeah, I was constantly trying to ignore the bumps in the hallways because I really, trust me, I wanted to put my hands on her, but you know, I really couldn't because they would kick me out of the prom stuff, so I just really didn't want nothing to happen. But of course, her picking at me every day got me upset and my blood pressure started rising a little bit. So one day at lunch, my boyfriend came and brought me Chick-fil-A. And of course, me thanking him and stuff like that for the food, I turned to the side for like a quick second, and then I look at him and I see him awkwardly like waving like one like, and then I looked to see who he was waving at so awkwardly, and it was her. And I'm just sitting here like, this little girl is sneaky, like, and to be honest, like, I'm not no hater, so she's pretty, like, she's too pretty to be doing all that. Why are you doing all that? So yeah, I'm getting a little petty, catching little attitudes, because like, why are you doing all that? And there was another time where I was just like, oh yeah, like, I want to slap her so bad. So I walked in the cafeteria to go grab my cap and gown one of these days, and I see her little minions laughing at me. And I shrug it off. I'm just like, okay, anyways. So, yeah. After I went to go get my cap and gown, I saw one of my friends in the hallway, and we were talking and chatting it up a little bit. And then I see her friends from the corner, right? And I didn't see her, so I'm just like, where is she at? So she decided she was gonna walk in between me and my friend while we was talking to roll her eyes at me. Like, you're weird. So yeah, at this point, I'm like, you're not about to keep picking on me. I'm about to get you back real bad. Real bad. You're going to be scared of me by the time I'm done. Come back for part 2. Part 2 of this girl trying to make my life a living hell and why patience is key, because trust me, I was losing patience real bad. But yeah, she walked in between me and my friend so she could roll her eyes at me. Then her and her little minions came back together at the end of the hallway and started laughing and giggling like, I should be. So at this point, I'm like, oh yeah, like, baby, you're not about to play me no more. So I'm trying to do the peaceful thing, and I decided to move my seat at lunch so, you know, I wouldn't have to deal with the BS at lunch of her, like, looking at me a certain type of way. And she moved her seat. Sorry, I was getting a little frustrated. She moved her seat at lunch to stare at me from another table directly in my face. Like, so since I can't do anything, I got some of my friends to help me out with this little too much on this side, but we're not gonna talk about it. But yeah. So one of these days I had walked through her and her friends while they was talking, just so she knew war has started. So yeah, since you're so used to staring at me in the hallway, since you got a little crush on me, we gonna do the same thing back. So since you want to casually bump people in the hallways every day, I casually got my friend to bump you in the hallway, and you made friends with the flow. How about that? But that wasn't it, Pookie. I figured out where you live at, so I was sitting in front of your house. But you was at a dang Ed Sheeran concert. How you gonna be a bully and be at an Ed Sheeran concert? And no hate to the Ed Sheeran fans, but like, you can't be no bully and listen to Ed Sheeran. But yeah, I could see why you an Ed Sheeran fan, cause you know, all them love songs he got you the Lulu with no Salulu. I'm gonna let this sit on my face for a little bit. But yeah, after that, then I tried to set you up. It failed, sadly, because your parents was outside. But if they wasn't, you would have saw me. Trust and believe. So I got my boyfriend to text her, and all he said was hated her. But basically what I was trying to do was I was trying to get him to like text her, flirt with her a little bit so she'd come outside the house. And then poof, it's me, mother. But then you went around telling all his homeboys that he liked you again because he told you hey. Like you thought that hey was your solution to your delusions? No, Buka, you was getting set up. But it's okay. I had something else for you. So yeah, I was talking to my friend in the hallway, and I knew she was going to turn the corner to go to that hallway. So what I did was I waited for her to turn the hallway, and I screamed out loud for the whole hallway to hear me. Like everybody got quiet. And I pointed her dead in her face and looked at her straight in her eyes, and I said, if this little girl don't stop messing with me, I'ma mess her up. And she got scared and ran to the classroom like a little. But yeah, after that little comeback, like a little punk that she is, she stopped messing with me at school. You know, everything was cool. She was still giving me them little death stares. I really didn't care because she knew what was up. She knew what was up. So by the time graduation came, I just wanted to talk to her like a little civilized human being, like we are. And by that I meant I wanted to slap her with my diploma. But when I saw her, she ran away. So womp womp womp. But yeah, she really tried to play me, but guess who ended up looking like the pussycat? Not me. All I'ma say is stay inside, because I know where you live at. But yeah, at the end of the day, patience is key. But yeah, all that picking she was doing, guess who still ended up with the man? And guess who still ended up with the crown? Mwah. No bars. Get ready with me while I tell you how I got a detention for being pretty. This happened about a month ago with my homeroom teacher, and it was traumatizing. So the school day started out normal and everything was fine. I was going to all my classes and everything seemed to be going okay. So art class comes up and we all have to go. Everything's going fine, and when we come back to the classroom, I see a little slip on my desk. The slip said it was from my teacher, obviously, and the reason for the detention was for wearing a full face of makeup. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, what the frick? I'm not, like, I literally don't wear anything to school because it's not allowed, obviously. It's in the rules, you can't wear makeup. And all I wear is, like, moisturizer and whatever, so my skin looks glowy. My mom will always stop me in the morning and will be like, are you wearing makeup? Because my skin is so glowy. Like, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but that's just how it is. So it's lunchtime and I can't stop thinking about it, and obviously I'm not going to take the detention, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. I'm someone who hates confrontation, so I didn't really want to go and talk to her about it, but I talked to my friends and they're like, yeah, she can't do that, you need to go tell her. So we have this quiet period called dear, drop everything and read. So where everyone else is deering and the room is quiet, so my friends are telling me like, go talk to her now, like it's the perfect time because no one's asking her questions, she's not doing anything. So I go up to my teacher's desk and I'm asking her like, what's with the detention because I'm not wearing any makeup. So she starts yapping. She's like, yes you are, like I can clearly see it. And I'm like, I didn't put anything on today, so I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, okay, you're gonna have to take this up with Miss Gracie, that's what we'll call her. She's the school counselor. So I'm like, oh shit, okay, like where is she? And she's like, I'll call her. By the way, I'm using the new Too Faced contour stick. This shit is so creamy and it smells like motherfucking chocolate. The fuck? So sooner or later she calls Miss whatever we said her name was, and she comes to the classroom. So Miss Gracie comes and she pulls me out of the classroom. So I explained to Miss Gracie everything that happened and how she accused me of wearing makeup and how she gave me the detention even though I literally had nothing on. She basically inspects my face and eventually she's like, can I touch you? And so I'm like, okay. And so she gets her finger and she's like feeling on my face and she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're good, like I don't see anything. So she sends me back to class and I go back and sit down and start reading a book. She pulls my homeroom teacher out and they go have a chat. My homeroom teacher comes back into the classroom and she looks like really sad. So obviously I'm assuming that Miss Gracie yelled at her. I felt really bad because I'm a very like empathetic person, but all my friends were like, fuck her bro, nobody cares. So it's time for math and everyone's starting to pack up to leave. So I'm about to go leave for math and I'm running late. My friends have already left, so I'm trying to catch up to them.
I'm about to go and leave when my homeroom teacher looks at me and she's like, girl. So I'm like, you want me to come over there? And she's like, yes. So I go over to her desk and she says something, like mumbles it, and then I'm like, what? And then she repeats it and she's like, I'm sorry. And so I'm shocked because I was not expecting her to apologize at all. So after she says sorry, she goes on this whole long thing. She's like, I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry, like, I couldn't realize that you're, like, such a beautiful girl, that you don't even need makeup. You're so naturally beautiful. And, like, the class is just staring at our, like, while we're talking, and it's just so awkward. So I'm just like, thank you, like, oh my gosh. And she goes on to say, like, I'm really not that good at makeup, clearly, because I can't, you know, tell when someone's wearing it and when they're not. So yeah, and then I leave, and that's basically it. It was definitely a traumatizing event for me, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Here's the finished look, though. It's kind of a trust the process kind of thing, but I love you Pookies so much, and have a great day.
I feel like it's been long enough that I can finally share this story, but this was a really bad date I went on, I think in September. So we meet on Hinge. This is where all terrible dates seem to begin. We're texting, we're vibing, we honestly had really good banter. He asked me out to this restaurant, I agreed to go. The restaurant that he picked didn't really have a dress code. It was one of those places that could be casual if you wanted it to be, or you could dress up if you wanted to. So I didn't really know the vibes for the dress code, but if I have the ability to dress up, I'm gonna take it every time. I put on this cute outfit. I'm wearing these heeled boots that I have that are like 4 or 5 inches tall, and I was like, that might be a little much for a first date, but this guy said he was like 6'1", and then when we were texting, he was talking about how he played basketball and was really good at it, so I didn't really think much of it. Fast forward, I get to the restaurant. He said he was already there. He already had a table for us, so I go inside and meet him. He stands up from the table and gives me a hug to greet me. Immediately, I was like, damn, this bitch lied about his height. He is short as fuck. Like, I was towering over him. Which I'm not gonna lie, was kind of annoying because my philosophy as a tall girl is like, if his height starts at the 5, that's a friend. However, I mean, like, I can look past it. If I like a guy enough, I can actually look past anything. So I was like, you know what, it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker. Like, I'm just not gonna mention it. Honestly, wasn't that bothered by it, but he seemed to be really bothered by it because as soon as we sit down, he was like, you didn't tell me you were like really fucking tall. And I was like, well, you know, I am wearing heels. I'm on the taller side, but I'm wearing heels. And he's like, why are you wearing heels? Like, that's just really extra. We're just getting dinner. Well, babe, I am actually just an extra bitch, so you are in for a ride. Seemed really bothered by, like, the fact that I'm tall and, like, what my outfit choice was. And this was back when I couldn't stand on business a couple months ago, so I didn't say anything. I was like, let's just move on. We move on. He asked if I'd ever been to the restaurant. I said no. He asked if he can order for me. I say no because I'm a picky eater, which is just so embarrassing. But I was like, no, I prefer to order for myself because I'm just a picky eater. This man rolled his eyes and scoffed at me when I said that, which like was so just inappropriate. Waitress comes over. He's super rude to her, won't look at her. He then proceeded to order for me. He ordered a drink for me, and I already told him that I don't really drink alcohol, so I was like, oh no, I don't actually want the vodka soda, just give me water. He again scoffed in front of the waitress when I said this. I order my food. She looks at him to order, and he just said that we were gonna split the thing that I ordered, which I don't mind splitting, but he didn't tell me that beforehand, and he also told me that we were getting dinner. I thought it was more of a dinner situation versus drinks and an appetizer. We ordered the food. Honestly, the conversation was pretty good. Like, we were vibing, like the banter was good. Every once in a while, though, he would make like a really rude or weird remark towards me for seemingly no reason. I'll never forget how he asked me what I did that day, and I was talking about how I went to the gym, and he's just like, oh, you work out? I was like, yeah, like I'm really big into weightlifting. I go 5 days a week. And he just stared at me. He was like, you don't really look like you work out. Well, damn, that is so rude. Like, I know I'm not a muscle mommy, but like, why would you say that? He had other remarks as well, but that was the only one that really stood out to me. But eventually the food comes, and y'all, he ate 90% of the thing I ordered. You could tell I was pissed off too because I was starving, and I wasn't even trying to hide the fact that I was hungry. And his excuse was like, oh, well, like, you know, I know you're on your gym grind, so this food is like not good for you. Like, I don't think you should be eating it. I could have just left, but again, I was just not good at standing on business, so I was just sitting around kind of waiting for things to wrap up. Waitress dropped off the check. He paid. I literally saw him write 0 for a tip, and like, mind you, he has been super rude and dismissive to this girl the whole time. I was so pissed off. At the point we're in the parking lot, I'm trying to, you know, head the fuck out. He's like, oh, did you want to come over and chill at my place? Are you delusional? Oh, I can't. I have to be up in the morning. Plus, I'm not the Netflix and chill type of girl. Because I'm not. He rolled his eyes, scoffed at me, saying, sure, you're not. I get home, he sent me a text asking if I got home safe. I wasn't gonna respond, but I was like, you know what? Let me just say I got home safe and then just tell him I'm not going to be seeing him again. However, when I sent that text, he had already blocked me. Oh yeah, I have a feeling he wanted me to know that he blocked me. That's why he sent that text, because I don't know why else he would do that. But yeah, he still stalks me on Instagram from time to time though. So if he's seeing this, hey, like, you suck.
Story time. Let me tell you about this psychopath I met on Bumble BFF. This is the makeup look I'm going to try and recreate, by the way. So for those of you who don't know what Bumble BFF is, it's like a dating app, but to make friends rather than getting into a relationship with someone. I downloaded the app back in 2019 after I'd graduated from university and moved back home because I just wanted to make some more friends. It's not that I didn't have friends already. I just wanted to make some more friends who shared the same interests as me. So I met this girl on the app and she asked if we wanted to go for some drinks in a couple of days and I said yes. I met this girl in Soho on like a Thursday night and we went for some drinks. At this point I was only working part-time, so I said, screw it, like, let's meet up. Now when I tell you, when I met this girl, we bounced off of each other straight away. Like, we just got on so well. I couldn't believe that this was a first meeting. Bearing in mind, she was like 3 or 4 years older than me. I was 23 when I met her and I think she was 27. So I remember one of the things I asked her was, have you ever met anyone else from this app? And she said, I was literally just about to ask you the same thing. And she said she had actually met quite a few people off this app. I told her that you're the only one that I've met on this so far. Now, when we were getting to know each other, I was obviously talking about my friends, like my friends from school, my friends from uni. But anytime she would talk about her friends, they would just be her friends from Bumble BFF. That did raise slight red flags for me because I'm like, where are your organic friends? Like, where are your friends that you've made through school, through uni, through work, just through life in general? I didn't want to judge her because I was having a really nice time with her, so I'm just going to take her at face value. So the second time we met up with a wider group. So I brought one of my friends and she brought some other friends that she'd met from Bumble and we all just went out for some drinks. Again, had a really, really nice time. She's a really nice girl. And then in March, COVID hit and we went into lockdown. So during lockdown, we still kept in touch. We'd FaceTime and just check in on each other to see how we're doing. I feel like I've given myself a black eye. Anyways, lockdown restrictions lifted and a group of us went for a picnic because you could only meet up outside. Again, really nice time. We hadn't seen each other in a while because of lockdown. So it was nice to see each other again, even though we did meet up outside. Around August time, I started planning for my 24th birthday and I wanted to go to Manchester. So I'd already spoke to all my friends and I said, I want to do a weekend in Manchester. I've looked at some Airbnbs and this is the price. Can you commit to it? I need to know by this date and I need to confirm the numbers. Also made everyone very aware that if you cannot come and you have said yes and you have transferred me the money, I cannot transfer you back because the Airbnb is non-refundable. I made that crystal clear to every single person. I said to them, do not commit to it if you can't come because once you send me the money, if you drop out, that's not my business. This looks really scary and I'm actually worried that it's not gonna look anything like the picture. But obviously I invited this girl because we'd become friends. Even though we'd only met a few times, conversations we had and because of lockdown, like we got to know each other really, really well. So yeah, I wanted her there. I invited her and she was umming and ahhing for a bit because she wasn't sure if she had something else planned. But then she was like, no, it's fine. I got it sorted. So she sent me the money. I booked the accommodation, like £50 for the Airbnb for the whole weekend and then like an extra 20 quid for travel. So literally the day after I booked it, she said to me, I can't come anymore. And obviously I was very disappointed by that. But she was like, can you send me the money back? And I was kind of like, can't really do that because like I said, it's non-refundable. Also at this point, I'd only just got myself a grad job. I'd only been working for just shy of 2 months. So I was paying off my overdraft. I didn't have much money at all. I started on an incredibly low salary. So I can't afford to pay for people dropping out. And I made that very, very clear. So when I explained to her that like, I'm really sorry that I can't give you your money back. And obviously I explained her why. And I even reminded her that I actually did say to everyone that if you pay and you drop out, like, it's non-refundable. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't have your money, Airbnb do. Things started to get a little bit salty. She started to say things like, well, you can't expect me to pay for something if I'm not going to be there. You get your hair and nails done every single month, so how can you not pay me back? I just said, girl, that's not my problem. Like, I hate to fall out with you over this, but like, I made it very clear that I can't take responsibility if you drop out. If you drop out, then that's on you. So I said to her, I can't give you the Airbnb money back, but I can give you the money for the travel back. So I can pay your £20 back, but the 50 quid, I can't give that to you. And she started guilt tripping me, saying that she needs to send money back home and that like her family are really struggling. I was just in a position where I couldn't do anything. I can't afford for people dropping out. I said, well, if you drop out and then someone else drops out, then I'm going to be paying so much money, and that's really, really unfair on me, especially because I've got my overdraft to pay. I'm earning such a low salary. Yeah, like I said, things got really, really bitter, and it kind of ended really badly. Like we stopped talking because of it. So fast forward to my birthday. She sends me a message saying, happy birthday, I hope you have a lovely day. And I responded saying, thank you. Just wanted to be polite, but I had absolutely no intention in wanting to be friends with her, because when I tell you she was so nasty during those earlier messages that I was like, I actually don't want to be your friend because you were really, really out of order. So I go to Manchester for my birthday and I end up having a really, really nice time. And by this point, like, me and her, we're just not friends. Like, she's not in my life no more. I don't care about her, don't think about her. She was only in my life for a short period of time. I'm over it. Fast forward now to New Year's Day 2021. And when I say New Year's Day, I mean literally like 2 a.m. in the morning. So literally just after it's hit midnight. When I tell you, my phone starts popping. Like, I've got so many random numbers ringing off my phone. And I'm thinking like, who the hell are you lot? And then I start receiving messages on WhatsApp. Like some really, really inappropriate messages. And I'm questioning them like, who are you? Where did you get my number from? And they're like, aren't you Sonia? And I'm like, yeah, but like, who are you? And they're like, we've been speaking on Plenty of Fish. I'm there like, I'm not on Plenty of Fish profile, can you send it to me? So some of these guys were actually quite nice about it, and they sent me the profile and they were like, oh my god, like, I think someone's catfishing you. They sent me the profile and they were my photos, my number was on there, like my number was full on the profile, like any randomer could just get my number and call me. And there were some really, really like filthy messages. These photos were from my Instagram. My Instagram was private, so whoever this person is that's created a fake profile of me has me on Instagram, but also has my number. And I'm thinking like, who have I pissed off? A lot of the guys were reporting the profiles. Plenty of Fish is such a random dating app. It's not something I know anyone who's on except one person. My Bumble BFF, on our first meeting, I remember she told me she was dating and she would be on Plenty of Fish. And I remember thinking, that's such a random dating app. It's not like Hinge or Tinder or like Match.com, if that even still exists. But Plenty of Fish, I remember my brother and sister talking about it like back in the day. It just kind of clicked in my head. I think it's her. Based off of the messages she was sending to these guys and the screenshots that they were sending to me, I could analyse the way this catfish was typing, and the way this person was typing was exactly the same way as she used to type. Like, she used to use emojis in certain places, and she just used to use, you know, just someone's style of texting. I was so sure it was her, and she had motive to do it, right? She literally had motive, but to do that over 2 months after we've fallen out is absolutely crazy behaviour. One thing that actually made me lol about that profile is that on Plenty of Fish you can describe someone's body type, and she had described me as a few extra pounds. I mean, she's not wrong, but like, my god, she was trying to be as accurate as possible. For about 6 hours, I am constantly getting messages from these random men. Obviously, I have my suspicions that it is this girl that I met off of Bumble BFF. So in the morning, I asked my friends if anyone like had pulled a prank on me, just because I wanted to be so sure that I wasn't barking up the wrong tree. They were like, oh my god, no, we did not do that. I was like, it's this bitch. I sent her a message on WhatsApp. So I messaged her saying, hey, like, someone's created a fake profile of me on Plenty of Fish, and I contacted the police about it because I was getting some disgusting messages, and they've tracked the IP address back down to you. Obviously, I just wanted to scare her off a little bit. I didn't know if it was going to work, but I thought, let me just do so, because how dare you try and ruin the start of my 2021. And what does she do? She blocks me. If that doesn't scream guilty, then I don't know what does. This is the finished makeup look. I'm actually very disappointed. I don't think it looks anything like the photo. I hope you at least enjoyed the story, because my God, was my start to 2021 just absolute chaos. Bye.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I got caught stealing from Sephora. Okay, so basically I was like 14 at the time, so Sephora, don't cancel me. I literally love you guys. I spend my money. I literally spend all my money on you guys. So I was literally like 14, so goodbye. Please don't cancel me. So I just met this new friend at the beach. We met at the beach, and then we figured out that we lived like so close to each other, like literally like 10 minutes. So we were like, oh my God, like let's hang out. Like that's so fun. This was like literally like the first time hanging out. Like we went to the mall and we were so excited. Like I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, like I have a new friend. Like this is so fun. So I was like, let me show her my skills. Obviously I didn't have any skills. So we were like going around the mall. We were having fun. Like we were just like, we like got food, we were shopping, blah, 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 blah. So we go into Sephora, holy grail, love you. And we were like, and she was like, and I was like, and she was like, how do you do it? Like, teach me. And I was like, girl, it's so easy. Like, let me teach you. Like, I got you, girl. Like, don't even worry. So I was like trying to teach her. And it's really hard to teach someone that. Like, and you're high on it, like, that's like difficult. Like, don't try at home. And so we were like, so we were literally like in the corner, and I was trying to like show her, like I was like, just slip it in your purse, like girl, like it's easy. I was like trying to look so like I know what I'm doing. So everything was going as planned, like it was good. Oh my God, my layers, but they was going well. And so we were like walking out. I was like, we ate, like we did that shit, like period. And then we get stopped by this tiny ass man with like mall security, and he was like, show me your bag. And I was like, girl, don't do it. Like, come on, let's go. Don't do it. And she starts crying and opens up her bag, and like I should have ran thinking about it, but I was like, I don't want to leave her. Like, she's my new friend. Like, so they take us back to like the back of Sephora. I'm gonna try and show a picture. Like, it's hilarious. They took us back to the back of Sephora, and they were like going through all our shit. They were like, you're not allowed on your phone. And I was like, isn't that like against the law to tell me I'm not allowed on my phone? Like, it's my phone. Like, I pay my phone bills. Excuse me, ma'am. They were so mean. I was like, you've never been 14 before. You probably forget it, you old ass bitch. But like, they were just being so mean to us. And I was like pretending to cry. I was like, I'm so sorry. And then my dad's a lawyer, so they make me call my dad, but I like was trying to call everyone I knew. Like I was trying to call my sister. She was at her boyfriend's house like 2 hours away. I was trying to call my friends, like just pretending anyone was my parents. And then finally I was like, okay, like I just have to call my parents. Like this isn't working. Like I need help. And so my dad comes, and he was like, they have no right to keep you guys here. Like you're not arrested. Like come on, we're leaving. So he literally like pulls us out of the back of Sephora, and we just start walking away. And on the way out, all like the people are literally so mean. They're like, you're a great father. And I was like, yeah, actually he is, because you didn't arrest us. Like you have no reason to keep us here. And they were just so mean. But then right when we were about to leave, like the literal cops, like the real cops, were all standing outside. Like they were just standing outside the Sephora, like 4 of them. And they like literally handcuffed us and brought us back in. And I was like, you can have it. Like, and my dad was like, I'll pay, like, just stop. I was like, fuck, like, my life's over. Like, I'm never gonna live again. Like, this is literally the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It was pretty bad, but. So then they, like, took our names and stuff, and they were like, you'll get something in the mail, like, about this. And I was like, okay. And then my parents, like, let us have a sleepover for some reason, because, like, she didn't want to go home because she was scared. So they were like, okay, like, you could just sleep over. They weren't even, like, that mad, but, like, they were just, like, confused. And, like, my dad was like, I would have bought it for you. I was like, my bad. But then I showed him how expensive Sephora was, and he was like, oh. Like, low-key kind of forgot about it. We were just, like, living our life. Oh my God, this is so hot. And then we get a letter in the mail. And this is where the Popo repercussions came in. This is getting, like, super duper long, so I'm gonna do a part 2 where I tell you what happened next, because it's really funny. But this is, like, don't do this. Like, this is, I'm sharing this so you don't do it. And also, I've changed. I was like 14 and I was a baby, so yeah. Bye guys, love you.